This is Out Loud and Laughing.
What is up, chosen fam? Welcome back to the studio. Today, we are sitting down with a creator who knows exactly what it means to build your own stage when the industry doesn't hand you one. He is a powerhouse dancer and actor who has graced the Broadway stage in West Side Story, brought legendary divas to life through his choreography in Provincetown's Icons, and is the mastermind behind the hit series Seeking. Whether he's navigating the complexities of NYC roommates or the exposed reality of a clothing optional resort in Laid Bare, he brings a level of raw honesty in everything he touches. Please welcome the incredibly talented Alex Ringler.
Thanks. That was a wonderful intro.
Well, we're so glad you liked it. Welcome, Alex. And of course, we have to thank you for being here. You've had this incredible journey from the high stakes world of Broadway to the creative freedoms of Provincetown. But before all
Hey.
that, where exactly are you? LA, New York right now?
I'm in West Hollywood, like a proper homosexual, right? Yeah, right in the center of it. Like, I live really close to the WeHo Bistro, and I feel like that's like the center
Hmm.
of
Oh, that
Yeah,
is.
yeah,
yeah.
Are
very
you
much so
still
the
are you
intersection.
bi-coastal? I know you're not bi, but are you bi-coastal just at the like
Uh,
right now?
I kind of do both. Like right now, I'm like staying in LA, but if it's kind of like if a job's out there, I'll go there. If they're here, I'll be here. So yeah.
So versed. I like
He
it.
summers in yeah, he summers in New York, he winters in LA. You know how this goes, Brad.
Doesn't
No.
everyone?
Yeah.
Doesn't everyone? What have you been up to, and what are you working on now? Do you have some things you'd like to, share with us right now, up front?
To plug? I'm not sure. I'm part of a writing group out here, a queer writing group with Tim O'Leary, who's
Okay.
actually the director and writer of Laid Bare, and we're kind of collabing on something. I'm not sure I'm supposed to like say exactly what it is, but I was working on
Fun.
that right before I signed on with you guys. So, other than that, just
Awesome.
short form stuff and auditions, and yeah, living the life of that.
Hustling. We like it.
Mhm,
Hustling.
yeah.
I wanna go back and talk about some of the work you did in Provincetown. I wanna talk about Icons, and your choreography around it, and of course, your performance in it. So, how did working in that high energy, drag-centric environment influence the way you approach your own storytelling and movement?
I just gotta say, I really miss Icons a lot of the time.
Mm,
Icons
Yeah.
was born out of necessity in a way. I was working with Tom Dangora, our director, and we were at the post office cabaret. And at that point, he had I think the 6 p.m. and the 8:30 p.m. They have like three different show times, and they're like different at each venue in Provincetown. But he didn't have the late show, and so he wanted to kind of control the venue and just like have all of his shows in there. But the owner of the post office wanted a drag show, and Tom had never done a drag show. So he looked around Provincetown and was like, "Well, what is it missing?" There's kind of we have the illusionists, we have Ryan Landry doing his thing, we have the professional drag queens kind of coming in and doing their stints at places, but there wasn't really like a dancing drag show. And so he thought of
Mm.
like, pop icons through the years. And so when he thought that dance would be the right way to approach it, he contacted me because he'd worked with me before in Naked Boy Singing and knew I had my BFA in dance and I'd done choreography before. And we just came up with this idea to do kind of like starting with Cher and Tina and going all the way up through Beyonce and Lady Gaga because this was 2010. Telephone had just happened, so it was just kind of like the collab that was on everybody's mind. And in the middle of that, we had like Madonna, we had Janet, we would cycle out a few different people at the time. We had Britney in there, and then we just kind of based it around the dance and recreating their music videos, recreating their live performances. And we just thought it'd be like kind of a placeholder. Like, okay, we'll have Naked Boy Singing then, we'll have our headliner at the mid show, and then we'll have the drag show. If people show up, great. If not, we have the entire venue. And people showed up. I remember being backstage I was working in West Side on Broadway at the time, and I just get a call and it's just like cacophony in the background. And they're like, "You don't understand, like 5 standing ovations." And I was like, "Oh, I guess we're a hit." And so that was 2010. And then 2011, I had the summer off. So I went and I danced in the show as well. And it was kind of crazy how wild people went for that show. And it was so fun to do. And also I could kind of eat and drink whatever I wanted that summer because that show was so high energy and so much dancing that I burned off everything in those 1 or
Oh,
Yeah.
2 shows, which
a
was
gay
great.
dream.
Amen.
But Alex, I think you bring up an interesting point. So we've been going through your resume and we're going to talk about a lot of it. So we're going to be jumping all over the place, but you talk about it, right? Like you were choreography, then you're dancing, and even in the show Seeking, like you didn't just act in it, you created it, you wrote it, you produced it. And obviously that's a lot. And gays, we handle a lot. So I know that we can handle that. But my question
Ask any
is,
guy.
yeah,
Yeah, seriously.
literally, all holes are a hole. But at some point as a gay man who's acting, like, you're tired of waiting for the right role. So in this case, I'm just gonna write the roles for myself in my community. Like, as an actor now in Hollywood, obviously things have changed and got a little more inclusive. But I remember back in my day when like gay movies, there wasn't a lot of us. Like there wasn't a lot of representation. So like how have you navigated that? And was that because is that what you did with Seeking? You're like, I'm just gonna do this for myself because there's nothing out there for me at that moment.
It was less about nothing being out there and more I first started writing Seeking in, like, 2012 when I was working on a show in Vegas, and,
Mm,
it kind of reality TV was starting to be a thing, and I was watching it, and I was watching stuff that was coming out and being produced and seeing how bad it was and that it was on television, and I was like, I can do better than this." Like, I have ideas that are better that I could, like, try to you know, make happen as well. And so I started writing it then, and we didn't really, like I fiddled with it for a while. We shot an original pilot in 2016, and then COVID happened, and I kind of rediscovered my love for making things and self-producing things and writing things. And I did that with my short form series, "Annoyingly Fit Neighbor," which what was kind of like my COVID project that I just started doing to do something, and people started loving it. They're like, "Do more of these," and I ended up doing 24 episodes of that. Um,
yeah.
Wow.
but that gave my director who did the first pilot, he got the idea, Jason Lee Corson, he got the idea to be like, "Oh, well, why don't we do" it was called The Struggle at the time. He's like, "Why don't we try The Struggle again?" And it was like, "Okay, let's see if we can make that happen." And by that point, I had gotten like a okay following online, so I crowdfunded and I ended up raising the money and we were able to do it. We kind of shot it guerrilla style. We did it like oh gosh, over 6 days, we shot 8 episodes, and one day we shot 30 pages, which I didn't understand this going into it, but apparently 1 page equals an hour of shooting,
Wow.
and so when I just remember our sound guy being like, I've never done this much before on a set." But we were really like we were literally getting the wide, the coverage. Did we get it? Move on. Like, we were just
Yeah.
trying to, like, get it done because we were using people who were currently like working on Broadway and had other, things that they were doing. So it's like they were like I was paying them, but they were also like just being very generous with their time. And so I was like, I don't want to make you guys, commit to this for 4 weeks. Like, let's just get this done and we'll get it up. And so yeah, I think when it comes to opportunities, and there's this like thing in the business right now where it's like contracting and there aren't as many opportunities for
Mm,
people. I was like, yes, but there is so much more opportunity to self-produce. Like, everyone has an HD camera in their pocket. Everyone has the ability to edit now, and those used to be kind of gate-kept things, especially back in my day in the '90s,
Correct.
when people were making films, you had to, like, rent cameras and rent editing equipment and that sort of thing, and that's not really a thing anymore. So I just think while the business proper may be contracting, I don't think there's ever been a better time to be an independent creator.
Yeah, you say that so well, and to continue down the resume, like, just unrolling this, like, scroll of work that you've been doing, we have to talk about Laid Bare also, which is now on Out TV. In our opinion, we feel it might be one thing to act on a traditional set, right? But we also think that it's a whole other experience when the setting is a, let's say, nude resort. Are you kidding me? Like, you've mentioned that it explores a different kind of vulnerability. So as an actor, how does removing sort of the costume change the way you connect with your scene partners and the character you're actually portraying? Does that make a difference?
It
Being
does
naked? I would think so.
I will say, naked a number of time in my career, well, a
Yeah.
Yeah.
number of times in my career. Uh,
Just your career?
well, yes, I'm never nude otherwise.
Yeah.
Always have. No, but yeah, I think one of the first jobs I had was naked boy singing in Provincetown, and that's just like you're on stage naked. Even when I did Bros, that was a nude role. It wasn't like full nudity, but they're like, you will be naked in this shot. We won't be showing anything. And it's like, okay. Um, so it's never been a problem for me, but I will say that like in a way, like especially when I first auditioned for Naked Boys, they have you sing, and then if you get the call back, they have you sing naked. I think that's just, are you comfortable? Can you do this while performing nude? And it was almost more freeing in a way because you realize, like, sometimes like, I remember, like, getting naked and singing and just, like, having everyone looking at not my face, and not really necessarily listening to my voice. I was like, "Okay, well, I know what that feels like now." And in a way, it was, like, more freeing to just kinda, like, perform and do what you want. When it comes to, yeah, connecting with people, it does kind of remove this layer of, I don't know, this like a little bit of a wall. Like if you're nude and you're performing with somebody, you can't really hide anything. And so there's less of like a pressure to, I don't know, put on a performance because you're just kind of relating to another person in a very real way. So, yeah, that's what I found anyway.
I mean, what but there was other people on the cast, right? So how did they navigate it too, and how did you and how did you help them? Because I imagine, like, you're comfortable in your body because 'cause you've had the experience, but for someone who was joining this cast and doing this for the first time, like, did you see anything different with those people coming into, like, their awakening, I guess?
I don't know. I wasn't on set for quite as long as some of the people.
Yeah.
They kind of have an LA shoot and then the Palm Springs shoot. I think it was always number one. It was always a very professional set. It was always very like, we're having a nude scene over here, so this is now a closed set. If you do not need to be here, please be somewhere else. And so it was always very like professional and protective of people's comfort levels. And
Mhm.
so I think like having a set like that and having those kind of um like professional boundaries in a way really helps anyone who has any sort of like mm, not necessarily misgivings, but maybe a little bit of like it might take me a minute or two or three takes to kind of get comfortable with this. The ability to do that.
I mean, I think that makes sense, and again, going back to the resume, again, you have a long one, and we're gonna keep talking about it, but
Right.
more so than that, going more personal, though, like, how do you navigate all the chaos of this? How do you keep your creative battery charged? Like, how do you find the time to do the work, but then think about the next work, and then also still be a gay man and enjoy life too? Like, how are you doing all of it? Give us the
That is
tips.
that is the $1,000,000 question. There are times like where you go through, you're just like, I feel drained and I can't do this. Or I think it also is like you kind of, for me, I have to realize that I have a certain amount of like creative energy to give. And if that's being taken up by 17 self tapes that week, I won't necessarily be able to spend the time or have the bandwidth to work on my own projects or do short form content. And so um I'm trying to have a little more grace with myself because as a, dancer and a perfectionist, like you always feel like you have to just keep pushing, just keep working. If the more you work, the better you get. And yes, but also if you don't rest, like you're gonna get to a place where your body's gonna get sick and it's gonna make you rest anyway. So I'm trying to have a little more grace of like, okay, you worked on a script today and you did a self tape. That might be okay for today. That doesn't mean you have to
Mhm.
now go and make 5 things to put on Instagram as well. If you have the energy to do that, great. But if not, like give yourself credit for what you have done and are doing. And I struggle with that a little bit because I also don't want that to be a cop out of like, I didn't do anything the past 2 days. That's all right. It's like you
Yeah.
gotta find that balance, and, that finding that balance is kind of the struggle of being a creative.
But I think you're right though, because often I think the step we all forget is just to like stop and recognize the accomplishments without like keeping a hyper fixated, uh, hyper fixated focus on what our expectations are, and sort of like, I'm one of these people who it's like I understand the hard work aspects. I understand, like, when I'm, like, drained, but it's so important to say, "Hey, like, I did a really good job there, and we're on our way." You have to enjoy the journey, or else you're really gonna be struggling the whole way.
Absolutely. And I think it's also just a natural survival technique to see what's not there. Like
Right.
what do we still need to get? What do we still need to hunt and gather? Because
Yeah.
that keeps us alive. That's like in our amygdala, we're programmed to do that. But yeah, if you do that and you only focus on that, you're gonna miss out on all of the like good things that are happening around you. So something that helps me with that is like when I'm feeling like that kind of struggle, I try to like have a place of of gratitude or like list off 5 things that I'm grateful for or that I've done that I think are pretty cool and like so that I'm not always thinking, well, what else can I get? What else can I get?
Yeah.
Enjoy the moment sometimes. Uh, Alex, writing, dancing, or acting, which feels the most home to you?
Oh, that's a good question. I will say not dancing quite anymore just because I'm a lady of a certain age.
Listen,
At that
I get it.
you can still do like, that's the thing. People are like, "Oh, your career is over when you're 30." If you, like, go back and watch a chorus line, everyone's, like, so scared of turning 30, and I'm like, "Oh, wow. That's a little different now that it's not the '70s anymore."
Yeah.
But it's still, like, there is a little bit of truth that as you get older, you are still able to do the same things if you keep yourself in really good shape. It's just the recovery time gets longer and longer and longer. And
Struggle
so
is real.
it is, like, I have a friend, Robin Herder, who was doing Nini, in Moulin Rouge on Broadway while she was 40, and I was like, "Girl, how are you doing this?" Because that is such a physical part, and she got nominated for a Tony for it, and I was like, "How are you doing it?" She's like, "I literally just do the show, like, the show is my life because that's what it
Mm.
takes to be ready and able to do the show." So, I'd
Yeah.
say dance on the back burner. I'm really digging acting right now, but I feel like I have more control a bit when I'm writing. So, yeah. I'm
Fair. Totally
gonna
fair.
drink a little bit of my cold brew right now.
Oh my god, do it.
I took this is do you where are you guys recording from?
So I'm outside of New York City in,
Oh,
I
okay.
always say, New Jersey,
Mhm. It's a
and
good
Hey,
John is
place.
in Florida, in St. Pete.
yeah, I'm
Okay,
just over
hey.
here melting in the
St.
sun,
Pete.
of course.
Nice. I did a
Yeah.
show in St. Pete. I did
Whereabouts?
at American Stage. At American Stage, I
Yep.
did the producers back in 2018, I want to say. I
Before
played
my arrival, but yeah.
I played
Onto
Carmen
the
Dia.
earth, John?
Well, I just wanted you to know I didn't miss it intentionally.
Oh,
I
that's
wasn't
okay.
even here.
It was a short run, I wouldn't blame you if you did. But,
Fair
for the
enough.
New York person, this is actually, Cafe Bustelo. Do you know what that is? The
Mm,
little, like, yellow bricks?
Of
yep.
And
course, we're
Florida too, I mean,
Cuban.
it's a Florida thing
We're
too.
Cuban
Yeah.
boys.
We're
We
Cuban,
always
that's all we had.
Duh, you guys know Cafe Bustelo. So, I have to, like, almost special order it out here in LA. They have the big, like, party
Really?
tubs of it, which is great. And then I put it in my French press, and then I put it in the fridge overnight, so it's just
Yum.
all of the
Rich.
caffeine. Yeah.
and
Yeah,
that's how you
yeah.
do a 30-page, film in
Shoot in a
one
day.
day.
Yeah.
We're going. Doing it right now.
Sponsored by
So
Cafe
fun.
Bustelo.
Oh, please sponsor me, Got My Vistello. I would love it. I would
That's
save so much money on coffee.
And Alex, we also noticed that in your journey, and you were just talking about this, right? You have a deep connection with fitness and physical expression. And I guess I'm interested because, age is and time is unstoppable. So as a professional
Mm.
dancer and as with your body as your instrument, and your mind as this engine when you're like a writer and a producer, how are you balancing growing as a in those fields and then also like just wanting to continue like the physical aspects of your life? Like how are these contending? How are these balancing each other out? Do they interfere and do they intersect?
I mean, you're still
They,
very fit.
well, they thank you. They definitely intersect, like, cause like, that's what Annoyingly Fit Neighbor was about in a way. I'm a former fat kid. I grew up kind of very chubby, and so thank you. The FFKs unite. But so I think I'd always had an eye on that, especially with dancing. But with dancing and even especially in the gay world, it can get taken to a very negative place very quickly. It can go to like, if you're not this, then you are nothing. And
Mm,
so it's not great. And I definitely had my struggles with it. I still do. I mean, my husband can attest that, like, at least 5 times a month I'll come complaining about something to him, and he's like, "You're fine, like,
Yeah.
deal." Um, but I think it's now I try to focus it on health, and especially as I get older, I've seen what happens to people, even family members who don't take care of themselves, physically, and it just really takes a toll on both their body and their mind and their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And, like, it's kinda like trying to add um, quality to my life later in life by doing the things that I wanna do now to try to make that happen.
Yeah.
So I try to focus on that, and so when I get into the kind of like, you know, scrolling on Instagram and seeing the AI guys who all look perfect now, and I'm like, "Wow, I have to compete with that now too, great." Um, so I try to remind myself it's about health. Yes, there is a certain amount of like, and I kind of painted myself into a corner with this, like, because when you do naked things or you put your body out there, it becomes part of your brand. And so that's you'll
Yeah.
be approached by people being like, "Aren't you selling this? Please let me buy that." And I'm like, "Sure, great." That just kind of means it always has to be there and be ready. And
Yeah.
so I try to keep it to a place where it's like, if I need to be in a place where I need to be shirtless for something, a 2 week really, choosy about what I eat will make that happen.
Keep it snatched. I get it.
Keep it
I mean,
within a
it's
range of matched, actually.
Fair
that's
enough.
like an interesting thing though, Alex. That's like an added level of pressure for you, right? Because to your point, like, I mean, yes, John and I are very healthy too. Trying, trying to, it's more for health now than it used to be, where it was like main.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
knowing that you can get a call in a month for your body to
Fun.
be on display,
This
or
weekend,
even
maybe.
2 weeks, like you always have to be on point. That's a little pressure.
It is. I try to less see it about it's less pressure than it used to be.
Hmm.
Because like anything, the more you kind of make things a habit, the easier it is to do them. Like
Yes.
I like it, the James Clear Atomic Habits and that stuff. If you start small and just
Great
Hmm.
kind of
book.
create love it. If you just kind of start small and create a habit, it just becomes a thing. Like now I kind of it's not a question anymore. It's like, "Should I go to the gym today?" It's just like, it's a thing I do most days of the week, and so,
Yeah.
because of that, it kinda keeps it a little easier. Starting those habits can be very hard, and getting those habits ingrained can be very hard, so it's always gonna feel a little worse when you're starting those things, but that's when the willpower needs to happen, but once you get the habit, like, the willpower kinda takes a back seat to just like, "This is just what something I do every day," you know?
Yeah. I love it.
Well said. Well, Alex, we loved chatting with you about all things career, but on this podcast, we do have a tradition. We like to shift gears and get into the nitty gritty with a little game we like to call this or that. We're calling this one, this or that, the triple threat edition. No overthinking, just
Very
the
bad.
first thing that hits your spirit. Okay, are you ready?
It's time for another round of this or that, the unhinged get to know you game.
Do you prefer opening night on Broadway or final wrap on a film set?
Final wrap.
Easy enough. We ask this to every guest, and of course, with any of our this or that's, feel free to let us know why. Are you a scruff or a no scruff kind of guy?
On myself or somebody else?
Yes.
you, your question.
I like a little bit of scruff on a gentleman. I like it on my face, although I will say, like, when I shave, I was like, "Wow, my skin looks a lot better." So I'm kind of
Yeah.
in between. And when it comes to
Love
the
it.
film set question, it's just like, I love opening nights and red carpets and stuff like that, but I'd always rather be working. And so a final
Mm,
day on a film set is always like, "Ah, we did something awesome," you know? So
yeah, the completion. That's
Yeah,
so true.
yeah.
Okay, do you prefer the Palm Springs chill or the NYC hustle?
NYC hustle, I mean, just because I don't know, not if there was a different chill than Palm Springs, maybe I'd prefer like, maybe a Fire Island chill or, or a
Right.
PV chill, something like that. Palm
Fire
Springs
Island's
seems to
not
be very
chill
like,
or PV.
"No? Okay. Well, that's my
I
kinda chill."
mean,
Okay, you've just been given a new script. It's a whole film about baseball. You get to choose whether you want to play the pitcher or the catcher. Which role are you choosing?
Shortstop.
Ah, I love it. A little bit of everything. Get a lot of action on the
Yeah.
between bases.
Also,
I like it.
is it a remake of A League of Their Own? Because I
Yeah,
will.
it is.
I'd wear the outfit.
Yeah. I have the outfit.
I have a question for you guys about League of Their Own.
Please.
I ask this to kind of every gay guy I meet. Did Dottie Henson drop the ball on purpose?
Absolutely. There's no question.
Okay.
Yeah. Why
No.
would you don't
And
think so,
no,
Brian?
No, because Dottie Henson took care of her sister, but she would never fail on purpose for her sister. She wanted her sister to make it on her own.
I'm
Yeah,
of
but
two minds about it.
yeah,
Mhm.
but maybe she wanted it to make wanted she maybe she did it so that she could prove to her that she wanted to make it on her own. I don't know. I see your point, Brian, but I didn't know that this would be the place that you and I would be, separating,
I
but
don't know. Dottie didn't seem like someone that would give. She took care of her sister, but I don't
you
think she
opened
would
up a
take.
Pandora's box, Alex.
It's a
Thank
good
you.
question, Alex.
It's a
I agree with
great
you.
I love this
question.
question.
It's a great
I
one.
think, like, I think some of the secret of the answer to this question can be found in the opening scene with older Dottie when she's like,
Yes.
'cause her, grandsons are playing basketball, right? And she, like, takes
Mhm.
the older one aside. She's like, "You know, he's littler than you, so you need to give him a chance to shoot." And then she's like, "And Tommy, come here." The littler one comes up, and she says, "Kill him." I was like,
Yeah.
to me, that's the answer at the end. But it could go either way still. So, anyway.
It could. Listen, I
Mhm.
love her. Gina Davis was on Watch What Happens Live recently, and she has aged not at all. She is I love her.
Gina
It's doing
Davis is a
great.
queen.
I wish she did
Queen.
more
Tuesday.
stuff. Okay.
She started
Are
with
we
Mom.
writing I know. Are we writing in total silence or at a coffee shop with a playlist in your ear?
I just created a desk in my, apartment, like an office area, so I tend to write there, but I grew up with the TV always on in the background, so if it's quiet, it tends to distract me more because I will look for distraction. So sometimes I'll have something playing that like a Sex in the City or like a
Yeah.
Walking Dead or something that I've seen 100 times where I'm like, "That's just there." Just
Some
to kinda keep
noise.
me like yeah, yeah, like a white noise.
I agree. Kind of the same. Okay, so we're going back to your dating life. Are you dating somebody with a great chest or somebody with a great ass?
I have both. Um,
Yes, you can actually.
I
Yeah.
feel like I feel like I've got the girls, so I would probably look for someone with the booty. Um,
Okay. You don't wanna compete.
well, they can't compete, so,
See,
That
Brian,
part.
in that game he's playing, he would
He would
blame
win.
dropping the ball on somebody else, right?
Yeah. Okay. Alex, this one gets an interesting reaction. Do you prefer a shower or a bath?
depends on what for. Generally shower just 'cause it's fast and I feel like you get cleaner. But if
Mhm.
it's like,
Mhm.
"Oh gosh, I'm over 40 and I need to soak in a tub right now," that too.
That's fair. Epsom salt for the win.
I agree.
Yes.
Um,
Mm.
are you enjoying a night at the opera or a night at the circuit party?
Opera. Um, I haven't gone to many operas. My husband is actually a bigger fan. One of our first dates was the Magic Flute.
Oh.
And but yeah, I'll go to a circuit party maybe once a year, but I'm out of there by 2. Like it's not an all
Yeah.
nighter.
If there's no chairs, I can't go.
Yeah.
Uh,
Brian, can I tell a quick opera story?
Chair. I'm sure it's a fetish out there for someone to be a chair at a circuit party.
that is
That's
probably
so
true.
funny. Brian, can I tell a quick opera story,
What if
though?
I say no?
Okay, your question next.
No, go ahead.
Okay, thank you for the permission. I am not that big of an opera guy, and in San Francisco, I was invited to a show for free by someone who is a big connoisseur. I show up to this show thinking I'm gonna have like a 2.5 hour, 3 hour max, opera experience. I went to a Wagner show, who is notoriously known for writing some of the longest opera works that exist. It was a 5+ hour show. There were 3 intermissions, and I couldn't leave because I didn't want to be rude. So then I said, no more opera for me. I've seen enough for my lifetime. So that's where I sit on that spectrum. Gonna go to the
Go
circuit
see a
party.
Traviata.
Okay,
Um,
okay.
if you like Moulin Rouge, you'll like Traviata.
I
So,
love
go
Moulin
see a
Rouge.
La
So thank you for
Boheme.
the okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
Those are
thanks for
good.
not
the
quite
recos. I'll check them out. I'll check them out.
okay.
Reignite your opera, John. You're older now.
Thank
Okay.
you.
A subtle flirtation or radical honesty?
Radical honesty. I feel like subtle flirtation is like people are talking around what they really want. And so it's like,
Mhm.
can we just cut to the chase?
Be direct.
Do you prefer a morning workout or late night writing session?
Cool.
Mm,
I wake up
Oh,
and
you're
I
more
jump rope in the morning, and then I usually like, I try not to write too late anymore because I have that brain that once it turns on and it gets obsessed about something, it'll keep going and I won't eat or sleep. So I'm like, okay, but we can't do that too close to bedtime because then I won't have a
yeah.
bedtime. But yeah, kind of both.
clarifying question. When you're jumping rope in the morning, is it for fitness or double dutch?
I'm not good at double dutch. I
I'm
was
kidding.
actually part of the jump rope club when I was in elementary school. I was the only boy member, but they had this thing called, like, the rope skipping USA something or another. They would have competitions every year in Arizona, and I feel like if you won there, you got to go to some national thing. But double dutch was part of it. I was never really good at it. They had a compulsory routine you had to do with a rope, and then you got to do a freestyle routine for up to 3 minutes, and, I think the highest I placed ever was 3rd place.
I really feel this should be part of your two truths and a lie whenever you play.
I agree.
It's really great. Alex, what? Oh, Alex, thank you so much for being generous with your story and your time today. You are a reminder that we don't have to stay in one lane to be successful. We just have to stay true to ourselves. You all need to go out and check Alex's work, follow his journey, and get your hands on Seeking.
Hmm.
Alex,
Thank
where
you.
can people find you online? Keep up with all the cool shit you're doing.
Awesome. I'm Alex Ringler on Instagram. Jumpity Doo Productions on YouTube. I'm not an official production company yet, but that name comes from when I was choreographing my sister's wedding dance, and I working with a bunch of non-dancers. So I labeled one move the Jumpity Doo, and so then after that night, I was like, if I ever have a production company, I'm naming it Jumpity Doo Productions.
That's good.
So it's the
I
YouTube
love
channel.
it.
And Seeking is up there along with my other short form stuff like gay zombies and gay relation shorts. Yeah, it's a fun little channel.
We We love it, Alex. Well, to our chosen family, thank you for listening. We remind you to stay loud, stay laughing, and keep seeking your own truth. We'll chat soon. Bye bye. This was Out Loud and Laughing.
We're available everywhere you get your podcasts: Spotify, Apple, YouTube, iHeart, or wherever.